Hello, people that know how's it doing. Today, people in college and people in secondary schools and people in national school would know what I'm about to say, and I'm sure people even outside schools will know that there is a lack of teachers in every department, no matter if it's a PE, no matter if it's in maths, no matter if it's in science, there is a lack of teachers. And reason, I might as well say it straight, it's because the government are not caring enough for teachers, especially young teachers. Young teachers coming out of college having a hope, I might as well be honest, having a hope because the payment for them is not as good as a teacher that's there, like, let's just say 50 years as a teacher or 40 years as a teacher. It's not as good, and that's not fair, especially because they're coming out of college. Like, there's teachers I know from around my area that are paying, as I said this many times, they're paying all the money nearly is going into their car to bring them to school and to get them around to A to B, and that's not fair. That's completely not fair at all. Especially with insurance premiums going up and everything like that. It's not fair on young teachers, and I can see why. And I wouldn't blame people. I'm not going to blame people for going to Australia, New Zealand, Saudi Arabia for work. I wouldn't blame them. And I don't think anybody would blame them. A new life, a new opportunity, more money. Anybody would take that. I'm sure anybody would take it, because the system in this country is broken. It's really just broken. It's outdated. This country's system is away in the donkey's years, and that's really the thing. It's just hopeless. This is the same with the North, and they're all leaving to go to different countries. And I wouldn't blame them. The way they've been treated in this country is like, you get treated them out of prison. And I might as well say it straight. Like, young teachers coming out of college, do all the training, have to pay to go through college. To come out of college, there's no work. If they get work, it's small money for them. It's really, really small. And they get it very hard to make ends meet. Especially, as I said, young teachers come out of college. And, this is why they cross the board and they have to leave. They have to leave Ireland. Some of them really, really don't want to leave. Because they grew up in Ireland and all their life in Ireland. But some, they have no other choice. It's either leave or, become homeless. So, because that's the situation we're facing in this country, nearly across the whole board, and it's not fair. It's not fair. It's really, really not fair that somebody that's there 40 years is getting more than somebody that's there now, a young teacher. Because it's not fair. Because especially because they're trying to pay themselves through college and probably taking out loans and everything for housing and such and such. It's really just not fair, and we have to be honest with ourselves. It's just not fair. It's not fair, especially because we're losing so many talented teachers and so many talented nurses every year. Going to Saudi Arabia, going to New Zealand, going to Australia, going to Singapore. And, it's just the amount of, bright young men and young women that are coming out of college who are, have new systems of learning, I suppose. Like this teachers I have in my secondary school. And they are young. They are young teachers, and they have a different way. Teachers, young teachers nowadays understand students better than, maybe two teachers that haven't gone to college. Like, there's teachers I know that have understand and know young people's faces and are down with the kids and all in the hood and all the rest of that. What am I trying to say? I have to try to think what I'm trying to say. Because I don't write these things down. I just have to try and think them off the top of my head. Because the students interact. I find it better when I have a teacher that I can understand, relate to, I suppose you could say. And I'm sure everybody can. Somebody that you can relate to. Somebody that's, down with the kids on the street. I sometimes it makes myself look out for. But it does make sense. It does make sense. At least I think it does. Anyway, in my head it does seem sense. But we are losing so many talented people. We have to admit, there's so many talented young men and young women leaving to go to other countries, and and that creates there's no, like, how would I put this? Like, say if a teacher goes on maternity leave now and has a baby. Let's just say that. I don't know, 6 or 7 months for maternity leave for teaching to get full paid, and then they can take more off if they want to. And they haven't, they can't replace them. They can't replace them, especially guidance counselors. Guidance counselors, there's none of them literally in the country at all. There's none left in the country at all. I don't know where they all went to, but there's not nearly any left. And I say that very with a deep heart. There is literally none left nearly. Whatever guidance counsellor are in schools, that's all. There's not really many. There's not many, let's be honest. And I wouldn't, like as I said, I wouldn't blame them. Anybody who ever has the opportunity to go to New Zealand and go to Australia and has the money to go, start a new life, new beginning. Because this government, especially this Fine Gael government, is just, as long as the American companies in Ireland are happy, as long as the bankers are happy, as long as the bondholders are happy, as long as the TDs get their salary, then who cares? And that's the way, they're taking their head in the Fine Gael government. As long as the bankers, as long as the shareholders, as long as the American companies are happy, what more do you want? And that's really the way they look at it. And, it's just greed. It's just down to greed. Like, they have the money. Like, they have the money. Like, they're hiding it away. They're just literally probably going towards more TD's funds, TD's dinners. Like, I can go on about them not paying for money, paying for their food and that. In Leicester House, in the restaurant in Leicester House, but I won't embarrass them. Anyway, thank you for watching. And let me know what you think. I know so many people probably be saying, my daughter or people in my family left to go to Australia. And, I know so many who did leave to go to Australia. And enjoying themselves, having a great time over in Australia. They're making more money than they ever did in Ireland anyway. Which is really, really good. But it's sad to see that, in their own country, that they had to do Irish courses in, obviously. Some teachers, they couldn't get a job as an Irish teacher, so they had to leave and become some other teacher in a different country. Like, that's, sad. That's really sad. And I think for watching, subscribe for more, and bye.